Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be playing dangers, and they're not just any ordinary dangers. We are going to be playing some weird combo variant of dangers. This variant that does a lot of stuff. So right here, we're up against Necros. They have Kaleidoscope, they have Unicorn, they have Brio, they have Manju. What better hand could you ask for? I mean, you have Trishula too. I haven't really seen his deck. He has the Natis. He has the triple Arclight. I'm kind of confused by this. Why do you not? Where is your level 7 target? Why don't you run Wind Pegasus? My guess, I mean, they have their reasons. So he is going to be going first. He normal summoned Manju, of course. I do not have any hand drops in this deck. He searches Ben 10, which indicates a Christia later. So of course he's going to go into the Unicorn. He has a Unicorn too. He's going to use Kaleidoscope, I mean the Arclight, in order to search a Valkyrus, it seems. Just to negate attack, so they can't just attack over his Unicorn. By the way, the board he ends on is actually pretty nice. He still has the Valkyrus in hand after this. He ends on an Archlord Christia too. It seemed like a pretty difficult board to get over, but not for me. So he's gonna search Colossus with his Brio, and then he's gonna use it to search a Necros cycle. Now this means that he can pretty much ritual summon the Brio back from his graveyard using the Ben 10 as material. So now he's gonna use the effect of Ben 10. I believe it searches a fairy, so he can search Christia. And now he has Dagda. I think the reason he plays Dagda is because Dagda is a fairy. How many fairies does he have in his grave now? I mean, Manju is a fairy? All this time I thought he was a spellcaster. But he has the Manju, has Ben 10, and he has the Arclight. So as soon as he gets this Dagda in the graveyard, he will have 4 fairies in his graveyard in order to summon the Archlord Christia. And he's gonna use Christia to recur the Manju. So this is what he is. So this is what he ends on. He has the Unicorn lock down, so I can't summon any good extra deck monsters. And even if I do end up summoning an extra deck monster, his Christia is on the field, which will deny me of anything I want. And he has a Valkyrus, so that he can block any attack he wants, and this will be lasting for another turn. He's got the Manju for the follow-up play. This seems pretty unbreakable until you see we draw an Ogopogo. Wow. So we're of course going to use the Into the Void first. Draw 1. We drew an Upstart Goblin. We can draw another. We can use Allure of Darkness. And I'm going to be using another Allure of Darkness. I'm going to be setting 1. And I gamble everything on Bigfoot hitting. I mean, even if it doesn't hit, maybe if it hits something like a Brow, I still get to draw 1. I just won't get to summon the Bigfoot off Christia. And I hit the Bigfoot first try, and I get to pop his Christia. I'm going to use the effect of Mothman. I probably should have gone for the Ogopogo first, but whatever. We're going to get to draw 1, and then we're going to get to draw another off Brow. Once again, I should have gone for one of the big boys first, because they're probably the ones you want to get out of your hand first. Because nothing will happen if I hit the Thunderbird right there. So now I believe I'm going to go ahead and use Ogopogo. He pitches the Zephyros. I get to draw 1. I drew the beginning of the end. I'm going to use the Zephyros in order to bounce back the Mothman. And now I'm very lucky again. I get to discard the Brow, and I get to draw 2 again. I'm going to be using the Bigfoot again, but I'm not so lucky this time. Fortunately, I have the Pot of Avarice. I can shuffle whatever I want back. I'm shuffling the 2 Brow back, and I'm going to be drawing 2. And I opened the best normal summoners in this entire deck, Phantom Sky Blaster. I also have a Drag Down into the Grave, which is a brilliant option. So we're going to go into the Unicorn. We're going to normal summon Phantom Sky Blaster. The main reason I went into the Unicorn is mainly because I just want a way to go into Avramax, which I run in this deck. I'm going to get to summon 3 tokens of Phantom Sky Blaster. And then we're going to use Drag Down by the Grave. By this, he is forced to pick my Brow, which will give me 2 draws. And on top of that, I get to discard his Valkyris from hand, which means he no longer has battle protection. So I get to draw another. I draw 2 Brow, unfortunately, but that's okay. I link away one of the tokens for a Link Spider, and then we go into Avramax. We're going to attack so that I can actually do stuff again. Now I can summon stuff from my extra deck. We're going to go into Cerberus, because why not? Mainly because we want to go into the Appaloosa. We're going to use Beginning of the End. We have more than enough monsters to trigger it. We get to draw 3. We've refilled our entire hand again, and we still have and we only have 20 cards left in our deck. We're going to use the Thunderbird. It whiffs. Thunderbird again. We get to discard the Brow, and then we get to draw another. We're going to use the Dogman. Discard Brow, draw another. We're going to use the Bigfoot. We're going to be discarding this Snack, and then we get to summon the Snack. And we're going to overlay into a Photon Lord, who is an extra, just an extra negate. We're going to use a Nessie. Nessie will whiff again. We're going to be searching a Jackalope, and Jackalope, I believe, hit the Frankenderp. And right when we discard the Frankenderp, we draw Emergency Teleport. That was kind of unfortunate, but we do run the Virus Engine in this deck, which is an incredible engine, to say the least. The Virus Berserker boys will do stuff. Unfortunately, I'm pretty much forced to link off the 0 day, mainly because if I keep the 0 day there, then pretty much Appaloosa will go down by 1,000 attack points, which is something I definitely do not want. I forget that I activated Into the Void during the end phase, but unfortunately that's okay. He has the Effect Wheeler. I mean, okay, I guess I can always negate it with something like Photon Lord or Above the Goddess. He also has a Trishula. I think I would have run Union Carrier in this deck. I was thinking of running it, but then I always have the chance of just straight up discarding the Dragon Buster before I even get to the Union Carrier, which is why I don't really run it. So right here, let's look at his hand. I mean, he has the two ritual spells in his graveyard, which I mean, both of them are literally just going to replace themselves. So he can just use both of them. Search, and I'm guessing he didn't have any. I mean, for Necros Cycle to resolve, you need the monsters to exactly equal the level. I mean, could he not have just gone into the Unicorn? I mean, he could have just normal summoned Manju, do stuff. He could have used Kaleidoscope, dump the, does he even have any level 9 targets? He doesn't have any level 9 targets. So he could use, I believe one of the only plays he had was going for the Necros Cycle, getting rid of the Manju, and then doing stuff. I mean, he could also, just normal summon the Manju, search another Unicorn, summon Kaleidoscope. But either way, I just had too many threats on board. At most, the best thing I think he could have done in this position was get a couple of stuff on field. He's doing normal summon the Manju. I just negated with Photon Lord. I probably should have negated with Appaloosa, but that's okay. He scoops. There was no way I mean, he could go into Necros Cycle, I guess. But that wouldn't really make a difference. I could just attack for game during my next turn. I had a Snow on top of my deck. But this just really shows how, I mean, that board was a super, I mean, most decks might not have even been able to break that board if they were like a combo deck or something. I mean, they've got Unicorn Lock. They can just protect their monsters from battle for a turn. But I guess I will just go ahead and go into another replay then. So right here we're in the second game. We're up against Vylon Union? Question mark? I really only saw him use the Union not the only the union portion when I dueled him, but that's okay. We set the Pot of Avarice because of course we need to set our spells before doing anything. We're normal summon the Sky Blaster. Mainly I just run the Sky Blaster so that if I draw into it later on, because this deck doesn't usually use its normal summon. But we are going to be summoning stuff. We have the Dogman here. He hits the snack and we can do stuff. We're going to go into Link Spider. Right here I didn't really play around Nibiru, but if you just hit like, if you summon like 4 dangers, you could probably make an Appaloosa while still playing around Nibiru. I accidentally pressed that, my bad. That was an accident, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to. I mean, I didn't really do much, I just normal summon Sky Blaster. But once again, if I hit the correct stuff, the Sky Blaster token, I mean, you can make Appaloosa using tokens, so that's a minus. We have the Danger Mothman. We hit the Bigfoot, fortunately, so that's great, I guess. We're gonna get to use the Pot of Avarice anyways, even if we didn't hit the Mothman even if we did hit the Mothman. We're gonna get to shuffle our entire graveyard back in order to draw 2. We get the Allure. Unfortunately, I drew another Sky Blaster. Sky Blaster can only resolve when it is normal summoned. So I can't use him right here, so I just banish him. We have the Danger Nessie. Nessie will go ahead. It hits itself again. We're gonna get the Mothman. The reason I went for the Mothman right here, I mean, not something like a Jackalope, mainly because the Jackalope, if it just hits itself, it's going to summon a danger. All these cards in my hand would be dead. All I would be able to do is my Virus Swordsman combo, just end on a it'll pretty much just end on an Avermax and a 4-negate Appaloosa. I mean, that is not bad. 4-negate Appaloosa plus Avermax is an incredible board. But it's not enough. So we can use Mothman again. Even if we do hit the Mothman, we can still ensure that we do get one of those effects while still drawing a card, which is brilliant. We're going to use it. We are going to discard the Beige. I really want to discard the Shadal Beast, but that's fine. The Beige will trigger. We can summon it. I mean, we did just get that extra monster in the field. If we had some more extra monsters, we could have potentially maybe gone Tri-Gate Wizard of some sort, but that's okay. We're going to do our good old Virus Breaker stuff, I guess. We're going to go into Link Cross, mainly just because we need a monster summoned from the extra deck for the effect of just to summon Avermax. Now, if I had just one more monster, I could have summoned it, then maybe gone for a maybe if I hadn't summoned that Link token and I had some more plays, I wouldn't have summoned that Link token definitely. I would have gone for the 3 Co-Link Tri-Gate Wizard while protecting it from card effects with Nightmare Cerberus. I'm sorry, Cerberus I believe has a left arrow, so I'll have to protect it by battle with Nightmare Phoenix, which won't really make a difference. So we're gonna have the Nightmare Phoenix pass, unfortunately. I don't know why I wanted to protect my monsters from battle destruction, I guess. I probably should have seen this coming. Maybe if I had the foresight, I could have summoned my Virus Swordsman over here, my 0 Day over here, so that I could go into the Nightmare Cerberus, which would protect all my monsters from card effect destruction, including this Appaloosa. So that was a misplay on my part. Remember, if you're going to play this deck, don't do that misplay I did. But this deck, I mean, for a 4-negate Appaloosa and an Avermax is nothing to laugh at. It is actually pretty great. So he's gonna draw for turn. He drew Violon Segment. I'm too lazy to read all these Violon cards. Nobody plays pure Violon, so he's gonna use Union Hanger. He's gonna normal summon the Crush Wyvern. Union Hanger will trigger, equipping Buster Drake to it. Not Buster Drake. He just equipped Union Hanger and then Union Driver and just equipped Buster Drake later. I don't really see need to do that, but that's okay. He's gonna use the Buster Drake in order to do stuff. He's gonna go into Cleave for Genius for some reason. I'm gonna negate that Buster Drake. I really don't want him to do that search. He uses Cleave for Genius. in order to negate his Bow of the Goddess. I'm not really sure why, but Appaloosa was negated. I guess maybe for some reason it activated. I guess but pretty much he is kind of screwed. I guess I have the Allure. I can draw stuff. He scoops. I had the Thunderbird. Even if I had hit the Thunderbird, bad things would happen. But he pretty much only had Violon cards in his hand. These cards pretty much don't do anything on their own, now do they? Like Violon Hept, once per turn, target one Violon monster, equip it. I mean, that's meh, I guess. He has Violon material. He was gonna top deck unauthorized reactivation, which I believe just equips a Machine Union to another Union monster. So those were a couple of replays. I think we'll just head straight to the deck profile then. So here is the deck profile. We have 2 copies of Bigfoot, 2 copies of Thunderbird. This is pretty standard. They're pretty great cards. 1 copy of Grapha. Maybe if you discard it, you can just bounce back maybe a Beige that you control just to summon it, and then you can discard the Beige again later, which can summon it. It's pretty cool. 2 copies of Ogopogo. Really, the only reason that we're running the same amount of copies of Ogopogo as Thunderbird and Bigfoot is just to get your danger response team in the graveyard. 1 copy of Dogman. Its effect isn't all that great, but I mean, it is a generic danger, and we want all the dangers we can get. 1 copy of Nessie, pretty standard. I mean, it's limited. What else? How many more copies do you expect? Only 1 copy of Shadal Beast. I would run maybe 2 or 3, but it's only once per turn, so there's really no use of running more than 1 copy in your deck. 3 copies of Danger Mothman. Mothman is incredible, of course. Probably one of the best dangers, maybe behind stuff like Dog, Nessie, or the Sneck or Jackalope. Probably the best one that's not on the ban list yet. We have 1 copy of Zero Day. It doesn't really matter if we discard it, whether it's still in hand. Our Virus Horseman will always summon it. 1 copy of Snow. With the 1 copy of Snow, you're essentially running 4 copies of Brow. Or with Snow, if you already have the Graph in hand, maybe you can discard a Beige. There are lots of cool things you can do with Snow. I think only running 1 is justifiable. 1 copy of Beige. Just we need the monsters to go into the 4-negate Appaloosa. 1 copy of Zephyros. Best thing about Zephyros is that none of the Bigfoot's summon effect are once per turn. Only their discard effect is once per turn. So you can use Zephyros, bounce back one of your dangers in order to summon it, and then you get to use the danger again, meaning you get to draw another card, which is it's just brilliant. Only 2 copies of Chupacabra. It really sucks to see this in your opening hand. If you open this and it whiffs, then it pretty much does nothing. Next we have our 1 copy of Phantom Sky Blaster. Probably one of the best token generators in the entire game. No restrictions on the token you control. You can just link them off for stuff like this Link Spider, so that you can go into Appaloosa. Pretty insane. 3 copies of Brow. It practically turns your danger monsters into Pot of Greeds, which is pretty insane. 1 copy of Sneck, 1 copy of Jackalope. The Sneck and Jackalope, I mean, once again, they're probably one of the best danger monsters ever. We have 1 copy of Frankenderp in combination with 1 copy of Teleport. Frankenderp with Teleport basically turns into summon Frankenderp, pay 500, draw 1. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, really just to go through our deck. 2 copies of Drag Down by the Grave, maybe to scope out something like a Dark Ruler No More, or an Impermanence. I did pull this off against a hero player who was playing 1 copy of Dark Ruler No More. 1 copy of Danger Response Team. It's got a really great graveyard effect, which is the main reason why I'm running it. I want to dump it with my Ogopogo. It's basically discard Danger, and then you can put this card on the bottom of your deck and draw 1. So if you end up discarding something like Mothman, once again you discard it, you draw 1, and then you get to use Mothman, draw 1, and discard 1. It's technically +1, just like Pot of Greed. 2 copies of Avarice. I only really run 2 copies. I don't want to see more than 1 copy in my hand. It not only does it recycle your resources like the Sky Blaster, Nessie, Sneck, Jackalope, or something like an Upstart or an Into the Void. Oh, sorry, I mean, it only works on monsters. So if you want to like recycle something like your Frankenderp that you hit earlier, or any of your Brows so that you get even more draws, this is the way to do it. On top of that, it's a +1 too, so you get draw 2. It's an incredible card in this deck. On 1, Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin is Upstart Goblin free draw. 2 copies at beginning of the end. I only really want to use 2 copies. You definitely do not want any more than 2 copies. It sucks to see too many copies in your hand. But 2 is pretty nice. I believe every single card in the main deck is a dark monster, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, every single card is a dark monster, so you can pretty easily pull off its summoning requirement, especially because all your Codebreaker package is also a dark based package, so you can also do stuff off that. 1 copy of Into the Void for the extra draw, and finally 1 copy of Emergency Teleport to summon Frankenderp. Frankenderp's basically just draw 1. For extra deck, we have 1 copy of Heart Earth, 1 copy of Draglubion. If you're going first, then you want to summon Heart Earth off Draglubion. If you're going second, you might want to summon Numeron Dragon for the 1 punch. We have 1 copy of Hope Harbinger. It's really just an option to go into as with your rank 8 plays. If you are interested, if your opponent's like playing a spell trap based deck like Eldritch, Altergeist, Sky Striker, we have Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. It's basically a Hope Harbinger for Galaxy Eyes. I mean, it's basically a Hope Harbinger for monsters. Unfortunately, it does not destroy the monster, so it's more like an Appaloosa. 1 Numeron Dragon for the OTKs. It pretty much gains a lot of attack. 1 Avermax. This deck can 99.9% of the time make Avermax plus Appaloosa. Unless you're super duper duper unlucky with your danger hits. Pretty much that's what you're gonna do. The stream mainline combo of this deck is just to get your Appaloosa, get your Virus Swordsman, do Virus Swordsman stuff, and on Virus Berserker, Virus Swordsman, and your 0 day. Link the Swordsman off for Link Cross, go into an Avermax. 99.9% of the time you'll get the 4-negate Appaloosa, unless your opponent says otherwise. But that's pretty much your bread and butter combo. If you're feeling extra pecky, you can maybe go put you can maybe summon the Avermax in the left zone of Appaloosa. Then if you have enough monsters, very rarely you do, but you can also go into stuff like Tri-Gate Wizard. You can go into stuff like Tri-Gate Wizard and a co-linked Cerberus. So not only do you have an extra negate, you also protect all of your link monsters from card effect destruction, which is huge. We have 1 Appaloosa. Once again, you're going to make a 4-negate Appaloosa all the time. A Virus Berserker and Virus Swordsman for the Virus package. In case you don't know how this engine works, you're pretty much going to get anything that has the bottom left and bottom arrows, just bottom arrows. So if you just look over here, pretty much they're Goki the Power Lord Ogre. If you've been seeing any other monsters, you know that works. Saryuja works too. Marine's Bubble Reef works, I guess. Appaloosa also works. So basically, you're gonna be summoning Virus Swordsman so that it's co-linked to your Appaloosa or any of these monsters down here. And then you're going to use this effect. Its effect is that when it's summoned, and if it's co-linked, you can summon 1 Codebreaker 0 day from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You're going to use those 2 then to go into Codebreaker Virus Berserker. And then if that is summoned while it's co-linked, you can summon up to 2 Codebreaker monsters from your graveyard. So you can pretty much summon back your Virus Swordsman and your 0 Day. And then just like that, you can link away your Virus Swordsman into a Link Cross and go into Avermax. So just like that, you can turn any 2 monsters into an Avermax really easily. And if you play optimally, you can maybe even get a Nightmare Cerberus, which protects all your Link monsters from card effect destruction. We have the one Tri-Gate Wizard. You're pretty rarely gonna be getting the Tri-Gate Wizard accurately. It's maybe sometimes can get the 3 links. Usually you're probably just gonna end on the 2 co-link Tri-Gate Wizard. I mean, 2 is perfectly fine. It basically turns into BLS, which I think is pretty great. We have the one Nightmare Unicorn. Really just, it's a Nightmare, which Nightmares synergize really well with your dangers, because the dangers, they don't need to be discarded by a card effect, they just need to be discarded in general. Doesn't matter whether it's summoning condition, cost, card effect, anything. We have the one Virus Swordsman. I've just explained why we run this. One Nightmare Phoenix. Really, it also protects your monster from battle protection, I guess. And we have the one Nightmare Cerberus for the monster pops. And one Link Spider to convert from the Sky Blaster tokens. And finally, we have one Link Cross to convert your Virus Swordsman that you're going to be summoning from the graveyard into a monster that was summoned from the extra deck. So that was the entire deck profile. I hope you like it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.